Stand on the stone quay of the Golden Horn just before sunrise. The water is crowded with ships, grain carriers from the Black Sea, fishing boats, imperial patrol vessels. Bells ring faintly from churches, while somewhere behind you a market is already waking up. Smoke rises from hundreds of hearths. This is Constantinople in the year 800. Now compare that to modern Istanbul. Millions of people, highways, bridges, noise everywhere. In 800, there are no cars, no electricity, no skyscrapers, and yet this is still the largest, richest, most complex city in Europe. Nothing else even comes close.
The year is around 800 AD. Constantinople is the capital of the Byzantine Empire, what its inhabitants simply call the Roman Empire. In the West, Charlemagne has just been crowned emperor in Rome. His realm is powerful by early medieval standards, but his cities are small. Rome itself is a shadow of its former self. Constantinople, by contrast, remains a functioning imperial capital. It has an emperor, a professional bureaucracy, standing armies, tax systems, and a monetary economy based on gold. The emperor at the turn of the 9th century is
Nicephorus I, reign 802 to 811.
a former finance official who understands exactly how much wealth still flows through this city. Why does Constantinople matter so much at this moment? Because it is the hinge point between worlds, between Europe and Asia, between Christian and Islamic powers, between the ancient Roman past and the medieval future. While most European cities in 800 house perhaps 5,000 to 20,000 people, Constantinople likely holds 300,000 to 400,000 inhabitants, even after centuries of war and plague. That alone makes it exceptional.
To understand daily life, you first need to grasp the scale of Constantinople. The city is enclosed by the Theodosian Walls, built in the 5th century, and still the most formidable fortifications in the known world. Triple-layered walls stretch for over 6 kilometers across land, reinforced with towers, gates, and ditches. No medieval European city has anything comparable. Inside those walls lies a city that still uses Roman urban infrastructure, paved streets, aqueducts bringing water from the countryside, massive underground cisterns storing water for sieges, public squares and forums, though many are now partly abandoned. Some districts are densely inhabited, others are semi-rural, with gardens, orchards, and ruins slowly being reclaimed by vegetation. This uneven density is important. Constantinople is not uniformly urban. It is a patchwork of intense activity and quiet decay. Modern Istanbul spreads far beyond these ancient walls. In 800, almost everything that matters happens inside them.
The people of Constantinople are extraordinarily diverse. You will encounter Greek-speaking Romans, the majority, Armenians, Syrians, Slavs, Italians, Jews, merchants from the Islamic world, foreign diplomats and hostages. This is not a feudal city. Most people are free, not serfs. Slavery exists, but it is not the dominant labor system. Many residents are artisans, dock workers, traders, clerks, soldiers, monks, or servants attached to elite households. Contrast this with Western Europe around 800. In cities like Paris or London, most people live from local agriculture and barter. In Constantinople, money circulates constantly. Wages are paid in coin, taxes are assessed in coin, goods are priced in coin. This alone changes daily life profoundly. Housing varies widely. The poor live in wooden or mixed wood and stone structures, narrow streets with upper floors jutting out, crowded multi-family dwellings. The wealthy live in large courtyard houses, stone construction, private baths, access to running water from aqueduct-fed systems. Many people live among reused Roman buildings. Old baths become workshops.
Temples, long converted into churches, serve as neighborhood centers. Compared to modern Istanbul's apartment blocks, these homes are darker, colder, and noisier, but far more integrated into small, walkable communities. Food supply is where Constantinople truly stands apart. The city depends heavily on state-organized grain shipments, especially from regions around the Black Sea. Although Egypt, once Rome's breadbasket, is under Islamic control, Constantinople has adapted. Staple foods include bread, the most important item, porridge made from wheat or barley, olive oil, wine, fish from the Bosphorus and Golden Horn, vegetables grown inside and just outside the walls. Meat is available but expensive. The poor eat it rarely, the wealthy more often. Markets are tightly regulated. The state enforces price controls, quality standards, and official weights and measures. In most European cities of 800, famine is a constant threat. In Constantinople, famine can still happen, but the imperial administration actively tries to prevent it. This creates a level of urban stability unknown in the West.
Walk through Constantinople during the day, and you hear constant activity. Workshops line certain streets. Bakers, metalworkers, armorers, weavers, leatherworkers, guild-like organizations exist, supervised by the state. The goal is not free market competition, but urban order. The imperial mint produces gold solidi, coins trusted across the Mediterranean. A merchant in Baghdad or Venice will accept a Byzantine gold coin without hesitation. Compare this to Charlemagne's empire, where coinage exists, but gold is rare and long-distance trade limited. Constantinople is not just a city, it is an economic engine.
Christianity permeates everything. Churches are everywhere, from massive basilicas like Hagia Sophia to small neighborhood chapels. Bells mark time. Processions move through streets on feast days. Icons hang in homes, workshops, even city gates. Religion here is not private belief. It is public, political, and deeply emotional. Modern Istanbul remains religiously vibrant, but in a very different way. In 800, the city's identity is inseparable from its role as the Christian capital of the Roman world. Despite its wealth, Constantinople is a city under constant threat. External dangers, Arab naval raids, Bulgarian armies in the Balkans, political instability on multiple frontiers. Internal dangers, fires, especially in wooden districts, riots linked to food shortages, political unrest tied to court intrigue. Yet the city remains remarkably secure. The walls have never been breached by force. The Navy patrols surrounding waters. The state maintains order with soldiers, officials, and legal institutions. In Western Europe, cities often rely on local lords for protection. Constantinople relies on the empire itself. Problem: the Roman world has collapsed in the West. Trade networks have shrunk. Population has fallen. Enemies surround the empire. Change. Constantinople adapts. It contracts but does not disappear. The state becomes more centralized. Urban life becomes more regulated, less extravagant but more sustainable. Consequence: by 800, Constantinople is no longer the city of Constantine or Justinian, but it is still a functioning megacity. It preserves administrative knowledge, engineering skills, and urban culture that have vanished elsewhere. This continuity will profoundly shape medieval Europe in later centuries. Modern Istanbul, over 15 million inhabitants, expands across 2 continents, powered by global capitalism. Constantinople in 800, under 500,000 people, entirely enclosed by walls, powered by imperial taxation and state logistics. And yet, some continuities remain. The Bosphorus is still the city's lifeline. Certain street patterns persist. Hagia Sophia still dominates the skyline. What has vanished is just as important. The imperial palace complex, the hippodrome as a political arena, the bureaucratic machinery of empire. Constantinople's survival in 800 is not guaranteed permanence. Over the next centuries, it will face Crusader occupation in 1204, gradual economic decline, final Ottoman conquest in 1453. Yet its legacy is enormous. It acts as a transmitter of Roman law, a guardian of classical knowledge, a model of urban governance. When Renaissance Italy rediscovers ancient texts, many come through Byzantine channels. When medieval kings imagine imperial power, they look east to Constantinople. Constantinople, in 800 AD, teaches a crucial lesson about civilization. Cities do not survive by accident. They survive through institutions, infrastructure, administrative knowledge, adaptation, rather than nostalgia. While much of Europe rebuilt from near-urban collapse, Constantinople endured as a living bridge between worlds. It was not frozen in time. It changed, shrank, and hardened, but it never stopped being a city. And that is why, in the year 800, Constantinople stands alone, the last true megacity of Europe, carrying the weight of antiquity into the medieval world.